Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and here I'm going to show you the January 2018 kit for Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin. Said that all backwards, but we know what we're talking about. So in this kit, we get this really cute stamp set. Of course, it's got a love theme. You make my heart happy, X's and O's, and be mine, be my Valentine's, happy Valentine's Day, all that fun stuff. You get a little Stampin' Spot, and it's rich raspberry, which is one of their colors. So here's the kit, and these were really cute. You know, when I first opened it, I kind of looked at it and went, not quite sure. You got to kind of dig in. There's lots of items in here, and the cards are really interesting. So as I dig into this, of course, you get your instructions. And it's called Heartfelt Love Notes. And you can see you're able to make 16. So you get 16 envelopes, 8 of one style card, and 8 of another. Piece of chipboard, which we hold because we use that. Also get your glue dots. You get some vellum sheets. And it looks like you get 2 of every sheet. So each of these sheets will have the hearts, and they'll have the banners. And it's a nice vellum. So you get 2 of those. And then you get some cutouts, die cuts with some, and this is copper foiling that's throughout this. So I really like the colors. You get 2 sheets of those. You get 1 sheet, because you have 8 on here, of, oh, nope, sorry, 2. Of stickers and their banners. You get 16 pieces of your cutouts with a scalloped edge on it, and I'm just counting them out there to make sure. You get 16 of these very thick craft envelopes, and I really like the color. You get 8 of what I'm going to call the Tuxedo stripe card bases, and I think they look really cool when you open up, and there's a little pocket there to put a note. And then you get 8 of these. Now these have the copper foiling on the outside of the little hearts, and then each of them, all 16, have those little holes on the side as well. And again, that's part of the design, and it's on both sides, so we actually can tie these closed. So in one of the goodie bags, you get these awesome enamel dots. These are really nice enamel dots. Remind me of Doodlebug. And then you get some Stampin', what they call Stampin' Dimensionals. And then you get all of this ribbon. And it's got, again, the copper, it's like an off-white with a copper feel going through it. So you get all of this in this kit. So this kit made me very happy. You know, again, it's a hit and miss. You know, sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't. And again, it's all on personal preference. Some people may not like this. I really do. So let's get started and let's make what the project calls for. So, excuse me. So I'm going to use the first stamp, and this is the envelope with the X's and O's coming out. So when you see my fingers wiggling there, that means I'm reading the directions, which we all know by now I don't like to do, but I'm following the directions. So I'm going to do the first stamp, and then the second stamp is just the envelope with the little tiny heart in the corner. And these are the note cards. So you stamp down in the corner, and then what you're able to do, and I'll show that, which is really funny, you can write notes up on these cards. So we're going to set those aside, and now it's time to work on the inside of our pocket cards. That's what we're going to call them. So for the first one, for what I call, again, the tuxedo stripe, they have these little tiny hearts, and etched in them it says to and from. And they just have you stamp them down the center. Now you can stamp them any way that you want. Again, I'm following the instructions. And I try to do very very little editing. I want you to see just how long it can take to make these projects as best as I can. Now, there's some editing that I have to do, especially in this video, and I'll explain it when we get there. So we stamped on the inside. The one was the 2 hearts, the other one was Happy Valentine's Day. Now I'm going to grab the 2 die cuts, and I'm going to stamp the sentiments. This one says, "Sending hugs and kisses to you," and I love the font, the script font that they have on these sentiments. It's really pretty. I actually use a 3rd one when it comes to the alternative. So there I am. I'm reading the instructions. Fingers are wiggling. So what they're saying is to take the heart and use 2 of the glue dots to adhere it to the front. I'm just used to using glue dots this way, so if I use the other ones, you know, you really got to pull them off and everything else. So just to save a little bit of time, I do grab my glue dots from the stash. There's my finger telling you that. I do talk to myself as I put these together, so yeah, so the hands go. I'm a hand talker too. So I grabbed one of the banner stickers, and I'm going to place that on the copper foiled heart card. And I'm going to use 2 glue dots, because they say to use the vellum banner on top of this. And I'm going to set that in place. I'm then going to play with the enamel dots, and what's really nice is they give you a lot. You can actually put 5 enamel dots on each card. So they map this out for you. So you have 8 of the one style and 8 of the other, but you can see, and you can mix and match. You don't have to put all of them on there. You don't have to use all 5, but you do have enough, 5 enamel dots for each of your cards, all 16, which I think is wonderful. So now I'm going to take the sentiments, and I'm going to use the dimensionals. We call them foam squares, but theirs are in octagon shape. And I already had ones used, so I figured, all right, I'll use those up. And I'm going to set my sentiments in place over the vellum pieces, which will hide the glue dots, because we have to hide the glue dots. But we need a way to attach the vellum. So here I am. I'm showing, you can write your note with a pen. Yep, just in case you didn't know that. And then that just sits inside the little tiny pocket. And now we're going to grab the ribbon, and they say you can cut a 12-inch piece, so that's what I did, and I'm going to thread this through. If everyone wants to watch me do a bow, this one actually went out pretty good. Again, I tie bows upside down so that the tails can go towards the way they're supposed to go. Now they're supposed to set this way, so the first bow went very well, no editing. And of course I'm going to snip off the edges, and that's our first one. And the second one I had a problem because you can see it's not sitting the way that it should, but it's a different feel. So we just went with it. And then each one has its own envelope. So I thought they were just really cute. For the alternative, so I started thinking and cutting. I'm like, okay, I should be filming this. So what I did was I took one of the envelopes, and I just used my trimmer just to cut off a little bit of the edge. So now it'll open up. And then I'm going to cut off the flap. And what I'm doing is I'm folding down the flap of the envelope so that this will measure 3.5 inches wide, and then the height of what the envelope was. I'm also going to take one of the card bases, and I'm just going to cut this down as well with my trimmer. So I just want a panel, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm cutting off the edges that are doubled, and then I want to get rid of that curve. So this measures approximately 2 3/8 by the height of the card, which the height of the card and the envelope, of course, are just a little bit bigger, is 5 inches. So I'm going to adhere this panel onto the envelope flap. And I'm going to use double-sided tape. So I'm going to go back to the original pieces that I cut. And I'm just going to put multiple strips of double-sided tape. Again, this is the double-sided tape that I get from Joann's, called Me and Sparkle, or Ms. and Sparkle Company. And I think it's really good. It's very comparable to score tape or creative tape. And I'm just going to set that panel in. I don't want to go up to the fold because I do want it to come out just a little bit, but it's not going to cover the entire front. So we've got these layers that are going on. And I just use my bone folder just to give it a stronger crease. I'm going to use one of the panels that we stamped on for the note, and I'm just going to cover this with my Versamark ink. Since these hearts are in like a rose gold or a copper, I just covered this piece up so that I can put my copper embossing powder all over it. And look at that heat gun. I love this heat gun. Now, we did have to edit that section out only because my husband walked in and scared me, and the heat gun went flying across the room, so it was kind of funny. So I die cut. I used my stitched heart dies, and I just cut out a couple of the hearts from the embossing, and again, it's my Recollections copper. And now I'm just placing them on top of a couple of the vellum hearts. And I use the sentiment Be Mine. I just love the font. I think the font is great. So here I'm attaching the second one. So this is going to be, again, rule of thirds. So we got 3 things going on there, and it's going to trail up the front of this card. So it's actually going to hide that curve from the flap. And I'm going to prop this up using the dimensionals. So I'm going to put them all over the place. And we're going to set that down onto it. And it can go over where the black and the copper hearts are. So that strip in the center, I was liking it, I wasn't liking it. It was just setting me off. So I'm taking a piece of the ribbon that came in the kit, and I'm just going to put that along there. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm just going to run a little tiny strip of that, and I'm going to set the ribbon down onto that. The art glitter glue does a great job adhering ribbons to cards as well. It is a great all-purpose glue. And I'm just going to trim off the edges. So now we just have a little bit of decoration on the inside. And that's my alternative. I'm going to add some enamel dots to that because I am absolutely in love with these. I think I have to hoard them. I'll hoard them for a little bit. And I'm just going to put both colors down onto this card. So the card that we made, it'll fit in the envelope that came in the kit, and it just really accented all of the copper. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in these kits or information, that'll be linked below. I always will show these every month. Again, it's a hit and miss just with any kits that we have. If you did like this video, hit the thumbs up. That tells me that you did like it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. We have a great time here. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below as well. I get back to you as fast as I can or as quickly as I can and try to be as helpful as always. Again, all links will be down below. I look forward to seeing you next time with my next video. I believe the next one that's going to be coming out is the special limited edition Valentine's from Simon Says. I was able to get that one. And I have a few individual cards that are going to come out. It's Valentine's Day. Gotta show the love. Again, I hope to see you at the next video, or at least read your comments and know that you're there. And remember, always be creative.